Hello, my wonderful students, and welcome to this lecture on data science workflow from the command line. In this lecture, we will be locating, importing, and analyzing a dataset just like a data scientist. Now, the original goal of this lecture was for us all to be able to connect to a remote server via our command line. Unfortunately, I do not have a remote server that we can all do this from. So in substitution, I will use a website called Kaggle.com. This is a website that uses an external server to host both machine learning competitions as well as open source datasets. It's a great resource for aspiring data scientists to find datasets that they are interested in and want to explore in more depth. However, the main purpose of this lecture is to help you to visualize the step-by-step process that a data scientist must go through in order to grab the data, import the data, and analyze the data. So that being said, we are going to grab a really fun data set off this website. We are going to grab the Pokemon data set. So go ahead and type in Pokemon to your search bar and click on this top link. Once here, go ahead and click on the Data tab and go ahead and click on Pokemon with Stats. Once here, go ahead and click on Data and go ahead and click on Download All. Now let's go ahead and grab the Pokemon.zip file out of here and drag it into our desktop environment. Go ahead and double click on this until you see a .csv open. When that happens, you can go ahead and drag this .zip file to the trash can. And from here, let's go ahead and open up our terminal. Now that our terminal is pulled up, let's go ahead and open IPython. And once IPython is open, let's use a Jupyter Magic command to get into our desktop. Alright, now that we have both located our data and imported our data, let's go ahead and open our data with Pandas. Pandas, as you may have heard me say multiple times throughout this course, is Python's version of Excel. And the purpose of me showing you this is so that you can hopefully have an aha moment, a moment where you realize why you have been doing what you've been doing. So let's go ahead and open up this Pokemon.csv file in Pandas. So the first thing I need to do is type in import pandas as PD, and then I need to write df standing for data frame equals pd.read_csv Pokemon. And go ahead and hit enter. And from here, let's go ahead and do a little analysis on this data set. So we will do df.shape to see the shape of the data set. And we can see that it is 13 columns by 800 rows. Let's go ahead and display the head of this data set. And let's go ahead and display the tail of this data set, meaning the first 5 lines and the last 5 lines. Let's go ahead and type in df.describe, and with the .describe method, we can see some basic statistical analysis performed, such as the number of rows in each column, which is 800 across the board. We can see the mean, we can see the standard deviation, we can see the minimum value, and we can see the maximum value column by column. So you should now have a solid understanding of how to analyze datasets from the command line, or at least be able to visualize what you might be able to do from the command line. So to recap this lecture, we went to Kaggle.com, grabbed a dataset off of this, imported the dataset into our local drive, and opened the dataset via the command line. Now, if I was analyzing data for a company, I would connect via my command line to a remote server, pull that data down to my local drive, and then analyze it in Pandas from there, just like I did here, with the only exception being in the first step, where instead of going to Kaggle.com and pointing and clicking on a dataset, I would have connected to a bare bones remote database with my command line. So that's all I have for this lecture. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope this whole process of learning the command line makes more sense now, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next lecture. Until then, happy learning.